Hi guys, welcome back to How to Study Bootcamp. This is video 24 and it's part 2 of the online test taking program that we were talking about in the last video. So let's get started. Right now, here we are back at Classmarker.com, and you remember in the previous video that I explained how to manage classes and how to invite and register new class members. Now, if you're the person creating the tests in your study group, then you're called the teacher or the instructor. And if you're someone in your study group who's been given a registration code by a teacher or instructor, then you're called a student or a learner. And if you want to create tests for yourself or your friends in your group, then you, or actually anyone in your group, can register as a teacher. So in other words, you can be a teacher, anyone in your study group can also be a teacher and create their own tests as well, and you can be a member of their study group as a student or a learner. Okay, so let's log in. So let's assume firstly that you're a teacher. So we log in using our username and password. And in this video, I want to show you how you can actually create and manage tests. In the last video, I showed you how to manage classes and how to invite and register new class members. So we've created classes. So this time we're actually going to create a test and how to manage those tests. So we're logged in using the instructor-teacher login. And remember, if you're a student or a learner, then you use a different username and password. For example, if you're doing a test created by someone else in your study group who's a teacher or an instructor, and you're doing a test that they created. So you'll come to a page that says Recent New Features. Now, you can read through this section yourself because it includes lots of recent updates, and it may be different by the time you see this video. So just have a quick scroll through the recent updates so you can see if anything new has been added. But as I said, in this video we want to create our test. So you can do that in one of two places. So you can either click My Tests here at the top of the page, or click My Tests over here in the left sidebar. Now, once we click that, we'll come to a page that says My Tests. And this is where you'll see all the tests that you've created for a particular category. So already I've got some tests here that, or categories of tests by the name of biology and math. We can actually create as many categories as we want. If we go over here to categories, we can add a new category by just clicking in the box. And let's say we can add a category such as geography. Actually, I'll do that in lowercase. And click Add Category. Or we could create a category called History. Add that category. So you'll see down here that now we've got biology, we've got geography, we've got history, and we've got math. And you can edit those names or delete those categories anytime you want to. So what I suggest you do is create categories based around your subjects, just to keep things simple. Now, back up at the top here, we want to create a new test. So click on Create New Test. Enter a name for your test. So let's say this test is going to be about genetics. So we just put in there genetics. And the category for this test is biology. So perhaps the way you could manage all this was that let's say you're doing biology, you have a textbook on biology. You could create a test name based around each chapter of biology. In other words, genetics could be a chapter in your biology textbook. And then you just click add new test, and you actually now have 2 ways to add questions to your tests that you just created. You can add tests from existing questions in your question bank. In other words, every time you add a test, or add a question, it gets added to a question bank. So in future, if you want to create other tests, you've got your questions already in there that you can actually use. Or you can add a brand new question directly into your test. And as I said, that brand new question will actually go into your question bank. If we click View Options, and go down to, once again, as I said, you can add questions from your question bank, or you can actually enter new questions. So let's click on Enter New Questions, and you'll come to a page that gives you more options. So here we are in our test, which is genetics, and we want to add questions to this test. Now, your actual questions can be in different formats. You can have multiple choice questions. You can have what are called multiple response type questions. We actually have a choice of multiple answers. You can create true or false tests. You can have what's called a free text, where your learners or your study group members have to type in the correct answer. You can have a punctuation test, where you have to add correct sentence punctuation. That could be for English grammar, for example. But the one we're going to focus on is the essay type test. Feel free to do any sort of test you want, but for the purpose of simplicity and the fact that throughout the study system we've been discussing studying by writing essays, then we'll focus on the essay type test. You can even actually go to Google and search using keywords and find other questions perhaps that are not in the textbook related to genetics. And if you come across a question in the exam that actually requires information that might be outside that which is in your textbook, then you're probably going to stand out, because most people probably don't know the answer to that question. So back up here, we're going to do an essay question. So we click on essay, and five of the question types, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we spoke of earlier, they're actually graded automatically by Classmarker. And that assumes that you've actually entered the correct answers when you actually create the questions. But if you create an essay type question, then you have to grade the answers individually. And you can grade your own essay answers, or get everyone in your study group to grade each other's answers. Whatever you want to do, you've got complete flexibility there. I mean, if you get other members of your study group to actually create essay questions, and you have to answer their questions, and vice versa, then you don't learn just from your own mistakes, but you actually can learn from other people's mistakes as well. So it's just an extra way to learn from your mistakes.